I don't know. It says it may be a little late. I don't know. We'll see. It's still giving me some problems. I don't know if I'm live. You guys let me know. Pile on in here. Let me know if I'm on. I got some kind of warning saying that I might be having some problems, but I don't know. My eyes are glassy. It is hot. It's like 96 degrees, which is nothing because it's supposed to be 106 tomorrow. It's supposed to be 104 on Saturday, 104 on Sunday, 101 on Monday. It's hot right now. I got no fan. I got no light. This is natural light. And my eyes are a little glassy. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm tired. All right, if the video and sound is good, then we're good. Let's get going. Hope everybody's doing okay. My name is Michael Bunker. This is the Bunker Nation. Glad you guys could be here. I'm going to be your host for the evening. We got to do this box thing, which is a necessary element for some reason of the show. I don't know what that means. You guys pile in here. Everybody give the show a like. Give it a thumbs up. Do what you got to do. It is hot. Oh my gosh, there's not even a breeze. There's nothing. It's humid. Ooh. Hope everybody's doing okay. My specific prayers and best hopes and dreams and everything for everybody that's suffering from the hurricane that hit on the coast Louisiana yesterday evening and throughout today, and there's a lot of bad things going on, and I just hope everybody's doing okay. I know we have some friends down in the area, and then it's going to be going up through Arkansas where I have some children. So everybody, I'm just praying for everybody to be okay and that everybody's going to make through it okay. And with everything else going on, it makes it doubly tough. All right, you don't have to report in, Addie. I appreciate it. Hello, Andrews. Hello, Oregon. You guys come in here and type in where you are. Type it into the comments section. Let me know. I'm glad to be here. But it's hot, and I'm drinking this water. What temperature do you think this water is if I have no refrigeration and I have no spilling it on myself, no refrigeration or anything, and I just get this out of the water filter, and it sits down here at the same temperature everything else is. Oh, see, people don't kind of get that. They still kind of think that there's some respite. There's some place you go or something you do. You get a nice cold glass of water. Well, hello, Kentucky. Good to see you. All right, everybody. Again, I'm glad to be here. I didn't think I was going to be here because our power was extremely low today. I was gone for the whole first debate, basically till about 1 p.m. dealing with pork products. We had a pig at the butcher up in Cross Plains, which, by the way, is the home of Robert E. Howard, famous for writing Conan the Barbarian. And it's only about 25, 30 minutes north of here. And that's where one of the butchers we use is. And so I went up there today to pick up a pig that we had taken in. And this is our fourth pig since May that we've either butchered. I butchered one of them myself, and I took 3 into 3 different butchers. And so it's been a miracle after miracle after miracle that we've gotten all this done. Hello, Lynchburg, Tennessee. It's been a miracle we've gotten a lot of this done this year, especially with what all has been going on. And the fact that I've been here for the most part since May by myself, trying to handle all this stuff. My wife has been on the front lines of the COVID battle, if you want to call it that, working at a lab that actually does the COVID tests up in Dallas-Fort Worth area. You couldn't type in on YouTube. It was blocked with the big Joe Biden ad. Well, you know, people got to do their ads. Anyways, I've been here by myself most of the time. My youngest daughter's been here with me for the last week and a half. But for the most part, we've been trying to do a lot of stuff by myself in the heat. It's been brutal heat. I butchered a pig by myself in a heat wave in May. And canned all the meat by myself, and then I have packaged it up or hauled 3 pigs to the butcher in the last couple of months. The last one I picked up today and got it to a freezer. And so, it's just been miracle after miracle. There's no reason I would have been able to do any of this stuff. It's just been very, very difficult. But one thing after the, I don't have a trustworthy vehicle. I don't have my truck is not able to haul anything. I don't have a trailer that would take a pig in. I don't have money, which is and it costs money to take a pig into the butcher. And then I don't have electricity to keep the meat cold until you can can it or process it and preserve it. And all these things. And then it's like one thing after another, it just lined up. The Lord made provision for it. So he not only brought along friends that helped us get a truck and a trailer, or lent us a truck and a trailer so that we could get the pig to the butcher, but right on time, provided for the materials or the wealth or whatever was needed to pay for the bill. And then my wife came and was able to visit on the weekends and got a whole lot of it canned. And then the one today, a week or so ago, we were just driving down the road. And one of the things that's absolutely a fact is it's almost a certainty that you cannot buy a freezer right now. Getting a freezer is like a near impossibility. And we've been looking everywhere, and everybody had been looking. People were coming up to us out of the blue saying, I can't get a freezer. My dad tried to buy a freezer in several states. We've had other people try to get freezers. We were just driving down the road in Coleman, Texas. There was a freezer on the side of the road. So we stopped over there, and the guy was one of those guys that buys mini storages and auctions. And he didn't even know if it worked. And he said, hey, I got this freezer. And I said, he said, I want $30 for it. I said, I'll give you $25 for it, but I don't want it if it doesn't work. He said, just go ahead and take it. I'm here all the time. If it doesn't work, just bring it back. So we got it for $25 and took it to the church and plugged it in and cleaned it out and all that, and it worked just fine. So I was able to go up today to Cross Plains, pick up a lot of pork, and able to get it into that freezer at the church. So I'm just saying, sometimes things work out for you. Sometimes they don't, especially when you live a life where you're constantly under attack and everything is difficult. And when things work out, you want to point it out. Another big report is my wife is, hello, Midland, Texas. By the way, Paul, I got some pork. Just let you know. My wife is coming back tomorrow, and she's been gone for, it seems like forever. Like I said, she's been on the front lines, working in a COVID lab up in Dallas-Fort Worth. And she's been able to come home about every other weekend. And it's been devastating to me to not be with her all the time and not have her here. And she's going to be, Lord willing, will be home tomorrow permanently. And I could not be happier. And that's just what I want to say. Hello, Jerry, my good old friend from Bowie Junior High School in Odessa, Texas. So, I'm glad to have her back. I wanted to get through all this without crying because, I try to be a responsible representative of manhood. And so my wife's going to be home tomorrow, and I have been incomplete and absolutely unhappy the entire time she's been gone. And so I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad she's going to be here. I'm looking forward to her getting back tomorrow. I have one but, and I cannot lie. Somebody else from Midland already bought one, but I can save the big one for you. There's a big one and there's a small one, and I can save the big one for you, Paul. Just message me and I'll let you know. It is hot and humid. It is completely humid. I am sitting here sweltering. Yeah, I'm so glad too that she's coming home. I know you like a marble with fat. I know we all do. I'll send you a picture as soon as I can. It's in the freezer at church, so I don't have it here with me. So anyways, I'm excited about Danielle being home. I've got plans. I'm giddy. It's difficult to explain unless you've kind of been through it. So, Oh, I got a lot of Odessa friends here. Richard King, old Paul Whitaker, and Jerry Webb, old Odessa folk. They're good people as far as people go. All right. So I had a bunch of questions yesterday during the Q&A, or the other day during the Q&A, and I didn't get to them, and I promised people I would get to them. So if you have questions and comments, anything you want to talk about, I will be glad to divert into whatever you want to talk about. Just put it in the comment section wherever you are. You could do it even if you're a future person. The future people are people that are watching this, and doesn't say live right here. If it doesn't say live, you're not watching it live, but you can type your comments and questions into the comment section below, and I will read them. And I'll be glad to and I try to do my best. I'm not going to answer everything, and some things are just stupid. I'm not going to deal with them. But I had a friend who said, "Hey, talk about aliens." All right. I don't know what you want to hear. I'm anti-Mars. I'm anti-colonization of any place. I don't believe that there is life, as far as we know it, anywhere else in the universe. I certainly don't think that there is intelligent life buzzing around us all the way, no matter what so-called the same people who keep reporting time and time again that they found life in a cup of soup or something like that. I believe that life is tremendously unique, especially human life, and that human life, we are created in the image of God, that we are unique, and that we live in a biosphere that is so completely and utterly rare that even if there existed some mechanism to bring life from non-life, which there doesn't, that even if there were billions of small little biospheres of areas where human-like life could exist, that it wouldn't, for many reasons, and not the least of which is God hasn't chosen to put it there. And the evidence that it's not there, or the argument that it's not there, and therefore it proves it, this is the argument made by most people who believe in intelligent life in space or aliens or whatever. It's purely a mathematical equation, and the mathematical equation denies some central principles. Their argument is, if we exist, and you could make the list of things that are required for us to exist, and it is monumentally long and impossible. But even that, if you make the assumption, which is faulty, but they make the assumption, that there are thousands or tens of thousands or however many Earth-like environments, therefore, in those places, given enough time, life would have developed in some type of form of intelligent life. That's bullshit. Even in their own posits, they talk about how rare it was, even though under their understanding that this Earth had all of these qualities in which life could develop, how absolutely impossible it was for it actually to develop. And yet they continue to posit that if the statistics are wide enough, that you would have created life somewhere else. The famous atheist Anthony Flew, who listened for years at the monkeys typing at typewriters thesis, came to the conclusion that there isn't enough time and there isn't enough space even for it to develop here, according to their posits and their assumptions and their faulty methodology. And so we're left with, well, what are the things that are flying around that people are seeing? For the most part, since the 1940s, the things that are flying around are just advanced weaponry. We don't tell people. There was a guy who came out the other day, like on some show, and he's like, listen, there are aliens, and all we know is this technology was not developed on Earth. You're full of crap, you dummy. It's so dumb. It's first of all, you have to believe that there's a guy, some physicist somewhere, who's been given access to all the military programs on the Earth. So the Chinese and the Russians and the Americans have just given this guy access to their advanced weapon technology, which is always 30 years before what we actually know about. And this guy's like, they just gave this guy, without signing any papers or anything, they gave this guy access. And this guy's like, listen, I went through the American arsenal, all their future tech. I went through the Chinese, the Russians, the Japanese. I went through Saudi Arabians, Israel, all of these. And you know what? This technology is not human. You freaking dummy. Do you actually believe, first of all, that even one government in the history of the world would give you access to crap they're working on that's 25 years in the future? And second of all, that they would tell you anything about it. And third of all, they would let you just go out there and just start spout off about it. My dad, in the 1970s, worked for the materials lab out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. They were working on future technology. He described it to me. Nobody knew what anybody else was doing. Nobody knew what anybody had. He was like working in a filing cabinet. Nobody got all the information and nobody got all the technology. You worked on one thing, like filaments. You may not know where the materials that you got that you were backward engineering came from. They don't even tell you that. And you were working on filaments, and the guy in the office next to you, who you never saw because you were working in a freaking filing cabinet, was working on some type of glue, and the guy next to him was working on some kind of lasers. Nobody knew anything. My dad was the guy who wrote checks. So he would fly to Lockheed, and he would fly to, Skunk Works and all this stuff, and he was working all this stuff, and he was just laughed because nobody knew what anybody was doing. There were only a few people that had any clue. The physicists didn't know, and they were working on stuff that nobody would even know for decades. Later on, he left Ohio, and he went to Washington, D.C., where I lived, with him, and he was on the Inspector General team. And he got to fly around to military bases all over the country and the world and all of that and do inspections. The military base that's called Area 51 is actually called Groom Lake Air Force Base. And they flew out there in the 1970s, and this is what he told me, what he was able to tell me. They were not allowed to inspect anything. They landed. They were escorted by the guy who was the commander of that base. With their backs turned to the base, they were escorted to a hangar. And as they were walking, a loud sound happened and an aircraft landed behind them. And the general or whoever it was said, I can't tell you that this exists, but if you turn around right now, you would see an interesting sight. And he turned around, and there was a black aircraft, unlike anything anybody had ever seen. And it landed and didn't even slow down, and flew basically on the ground right into a hangar where the door was closed. There was an SR-71 Blackbird, and nobody even knew about it at the time. So quit being dumb. There is technology out there that you don't know anything about. A lot of this technology is very advanced. It may not be futuristic. It may be from the far distant past. But when they talk about an aircraft flying at Mach whatever, and it makes a right turn, impossible under modern physics, that's because you're using modern physics. I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe there are space people. I don't believe that anybody is so dumb that they figured out how to travel all across the universe at some kind of crazy speed and with all the other hazards, and then they crashed in Roswell. They're just like, yeah, it was easy. It was easy getting here all the way from, Saturnalia 45. But, it got pretty rocky right over Roswell. Come on now. People are so dumb. And so just because the guy is the general or some stupid person that goes out there and they're like, I don't know, must have been a weather balloon, doesn't know what it was. There's somebody that knew what it was, and they get paid amounts of money and threatened and everything else not to tell anybody. And if they do come out and they go on shows, as many of them did, like what's the overnight show with the conspiracy theorist guy who's always talking about aliens? And they're like, oh, yeah, we had an alien locked up in Area 57. They don't know anything, and they're probably crazy. I don't think we should go to Mars because there's nothing there. It's a dead planet. And you cannot make the argument that our planet is broke because of global warming. It can't be fixed. But we're going to go to a planet that's absolutely dead where you can't even grow a freaking cactus. And we're going to somehow terraform it. And if you did, you'd have to have a government so freaking overpowering, so tyrannical, so statist and authoritarian that nobody would be able to do anything without checking it off a list. Because one person does one thing wrong on a Mars colony and everybody's dead. So that's what I think about aliens. I don't believe in them. I don't believe them at all. And if there is something out there that's not human, that's flying around, or that's tricking people, or that's sucking cattle and goats up there to suck their blood or whatever it is, it's probably demonic. And it's already been explained to us in the scriptures where you can find that sort of thing. Did I lose everybody? Are you out there? Anybody? This is a different take. Oh my gosh, a conspiracy theorist who doesn't believe in aliens. So I hope you guys are out there. I hope I didn't lose everybody. Hit the like button and subscribe. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. I don't talk about aliens. I don't even want to talk. Bigfoot is real. I believe in Bigfoot. I believe in the Jersey Devil. I believe in chupacabras. I believe all those things. What I don't believe in is aliens. There's no evidence of it. It's stupid. But Bigfoot, yeah, just nobody's seen it. I'm pretty hairy. Maybe I'm Bigfoot. This is a rant you never expected to hear. So, all right. That's true. There's nothing out there that the government doesn't know is out there. That's right. And alien righteousness for the whatnot. All righteousness is alien to humans. There you go. You got it. You got the truth out of me. There is no righteousness that is not alien to human. So another guy said, okay, talk about vertical farming and all this idea that there's an idea that somehow, let me calm down. In the future, cities are going to develop vertical gardening. It's going to be so productive that people are going to have gardens on their 12th story apartment complexes, and everything's going to grow up, and everything's going to be so productive you don't no longer even need the countryside. Bullshit. We've been trying this for so long, it's incredible. In the 1970s and 80s, when I was a youngin', I had to write a paper, and the paper was entitled The Future of Food. The idea given to us by our statist teachers, who had an agenda, was that describe how we're going to feed all of these hundreds of millions of people that are going to live way in the future. Remember, this is the 70s. We were still being told that an ice age was going to kill everybody. And they said, you write a paper about how we're going to feed all these people. So I wrote a paper about rabbit protein. Rabbits are the most productive creators of protein. They reproduce very quickly, remarkably, almost too quickly. As Richard King can tell you when he had some rabbits in his backyard. Rabbits reproduce so quickly you can almost not constrain them unless you have to work really hard. And they produce a very high level of protein. Very little fat, but and so my thesis was that vertically integrated rabbit farms would be able to create rabbit tablets that you could pop into your mouth, and you would get your amount of protein and all your other, they would add the ancillary fats and other macros and micros. And at the end of the article, I said, I didn't say it because I was a preteen. This is bullshit. Let me tell you why. This was in the article because people love the taste of food. They like the social elements of food. They like the quality and the health effects of real food. And so it's never going to happen. And so much it is that we're never going to have some type of vertically integrated gardens that do away with the countryside. Let me tell you why. Because there's too many people who are not bereft of their natural love of nature and their natural desire, whether it's genetic or some other instinct, to produce from nothing, from the land, that which is necessary for the completion and the provision of life. It's never going to happen. And it can only happen by force and through authoritarianism. So it doesn't matter how how good you get at producing tomatoes on your little balcony. You're never going to produce enough food to make it to where nobody has to produce food out in the countryside. And even if you could, there's going to be a percentage of the population that is not so reprobated that they have to live in cities, and they're going to want to live out there, and they're going to want to produce food, and they're always going to produce more than they can eat because they are the producers that keep society alive, and that's always going to exist. And I knew that in the 1970s, and I've been talking about it ever since. All right, so we've debunked aliens. We've debunked vertically integrated gardens. How much protein is in a rabbit? It's a lot per ounce. I don't know how much to say. It's a lot. The biggest problem with rabbits is that they're very low fat content. Yeah, I have no problem with people that have a curiosity about space. I have a problem with the fact that they use coveting and theft to force everyone else to pay for their curiosity. Even though simple logic, massive amounts of evidence, and all the common sense in the world shows that there's absolutely no reason to be reaching out from beyond our planet when we have so much productivity right here. We have so much ability right here. Let's just say they came to you and they said, listen, zap your memory. You don't know anything. You don't know anybody. All we're going to do is we're going to put you in front of a computer and you got to do research. We need you to find a place in the known universe that has all the elements necessary for human life. That means the only a couple degrees of places in the proper distance from the sun, with the right angle, with the right rotation, with the right amount of days that it takes to get around that sun, and do all of that stuff. We need to find a place like that. You know what they would say? We found a place, and it's Earth. And it's the only one. And even if there were 1,000 more like it, human life is so accidental that it cannot ever have developed from non-life. In no way could it ever develop from non-life. Oh my gosh. But instead, we're going to spend billions and trillions of dollars to go to a place that's dead. DED. Where nothing can live. And we're going to say we're going to start a colony there just because a guy who's literally insane thinks that it's a good idea. Hello, Sandy. But, you know, that's just the way. And you know what? I know I'm a sci-fi writer, and I know a bunch of you are sci-fi fans, and I know a bunch of you are probably angry with me right now. And you're shaking your fist and saying, Bunker, what about this? You know, I hate to be the one to tell you. It's a boondoggle. And it's hot. My wife's coming back tomorrow. And I just want to tell you that I'm happy. I'm happy my wife's coming back. I'm happy to be here to have the opportunity to talk to you all. I'm happy that on occasion we get to have a little fun like this show, which is all this is. This is fun. Don't be mad. Science fiction still exists. Pennsylvania, the movie's still going to happen. It's another planet. Or is it? I probably missed so many comments. It's ridiculous. I have a substantial foot. Okay. Yeah, that's another thing. Have a vertical gardening and all that stuff requires tremendous amount of resources that can't be developed from concrete. Not just electricity, but soil. Oh my gosh, I'm thirsty. It's so hot. All right, get your comments and questions in. Yeah, it's funny, Russ, because they're like, Earth is broken. We can't fix it. Let's go to a broken planet that's unfixable and let's terraform it. Hello, Georgiana. Good to have you here. I don't know if you're supposed to say Georgiana or Georgiana, but I do my best. Yeah, we have enough aliens. We have enough aliens on Earth. All right, y'all. I don't have a fan. It's very hot and it's getting worse. So if you guys have questions or comments, let's get them in here. Because I'm going to melt. I got to get outside in the breeze. I'm here for you, though. That's what I do. I suffer for you. Subscribe. Go to YouTube, either now or in the future. Find this video and maybe a couple of others. Hit the like button. Put a comment. Just put, hey, this was interesting, or you're full of crap. There's aliens everywhere. Hillary's a space alien. Donald Trump's a space alien. Whatever. But subscribe, comment, and like. That's what I really need you to do. We need more people to subscribe. All right. My book, God in the Storm, is out right now. You can get it in ebook. You can get it in paperback. You can get it in hardback. Go to godinthestorm.com or amazon.com and you can get the book. The book is necessary reading. If you're watching riots, it talks about riots and it talks about the Khmer Rouge and Antifa and all that kind of stuff, and you don't want to miss it. Make sure you get that book. I'm just waiting for y'all. Oh my gosh, comments are coming in. Any special plans for your Annie is fine. All right, Annie. Not affected by Laura. I'm 350 miles away from any effect by Laura. Texas is really, really, really big. Any special plans for when my wife gets home? Yes. I'm going to rejoice. When she's not looking, I'm going to hit my knees and pray and thank the Lord for bringing her home safely. We are going to go to Teddy's Brew House in Brownwood, Texas, and we're going to watch a concert with my daughter, and we're going to hang out and enjoy each other's company. Never heard of Dana Coverstone. I don't know if Dana's a man or a woman. What's your prediction for the first week after the election? Pain. Probably riots, one way or another. There'll be a lot of people completely scratching their head because they don't understand what happened. And a lot of people blaming it on theft or whatever else. But most likely there's going to be misery. Frank says, so space alien invasion isn't going to put us out of our misery. What are the chances of a giant asteroid? I have no idea, but probably pretty good. You got proof of aliens. So because I just spent 32 minutes saying there aren't any aliens, you want me to have proof of aliens? That's okay. Hi, great from the Philippines as well. We're great from here. We're going to have a wonderful time. It's going to be wonderful. I can't wait. He's a male pastor from Kentucky that had prophetic dreams. You should look him up. It's interesting. I don't want to. I'm not interested in prophetic dreams. Any man bring any other gospel than that which has been delivered unto you. Let him be anathema. That doesn't mean I don't know anything about the guy. I'm just saying I'm not interested. Do you still use the in-ground water cistern? Are you doing so? Absolutely. I use it every day, every single day. In fact, I get cool water out of it. And I can cool drinks down in it. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about? We're 34 minutes in. I've been asked for proof of aliens after spending 34 minutes saying there aren't any. That's a new one. Yes, I use the in-ground water cistern all the time, every day. We use it all the time. When I pump my little pump handle up in my kitchen to get water for my coffee, it comes out of the cistern. But I'm here for y'all. Thank you, Have. I appreciate it. Everybody should do this, by the way. We're doing a fundraiser right now. $2.99 for the super sticker. We appreciate it. Also, you can do a super chat. But another thing you can do, if I can find it, is you can go to michaelbunker.com/fundraiser and help us out so we can pay the bills for all this cool stuff that's going on. And we can expand ourselves into some other platforms, including doing a podcast, which could go out all over the world. We'll see. All right. Anybody got any comments or anything else they want to talk about before I go? I'm here for you. We don't have to talk about aliens. We don't have to talk about sports. There are some things I want to talk about maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. We'll see. Probably not tomorrow because my wife's going to be here. We'll see. It's going to be too hot. 106 degrees tomorrow. 104, 104, 101, and I'm hoping that's it. I'm hoping that's the last thing. What's the release date for the movie? I wish I knew. They got to make it first. I'm hoping, and they're working, but I'm hoping we're going to get into production sometime after the first of the year, but we'll see. I would not expect to be sitting down in a theater watching Pennsylvania the movie till 2022. Sorry, I know some people said they couldn't get on YouTube. This will eventually end up being on YouTube, but I'm sorry if it was not there. I want to thank everybody for being here. God bless you. I love you. I appreciate you guys. And as always, I'm here for you. If you have questions or comments, put them in the comment section. I always read the comments. I'll be glad to come back and do another show if your question's interesting enough. And like I said, I love you. I want to talk to you again maybe tomorrow or the next day. We'll see, but I will see when I see you. Thank y'all.